Monster Castle, paranormal, radio hound, Monster Castle, paranormal, digital radio, KTLK. Yeah, the Fringe FM.
Well, that was definitely not the right intro. Welcome back to the Monster Castle Paranormal Radio. I don't know what's going on with that intro. That's terrible. But it seems I've lost my intro. But that's okay. I'll find it back for the next show. Okay. We're here with Adam Ambrose. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. I like staying up all night. I'm nocturnal.
Yeah, I've been staying up late. I'm pretty nocturnal myself.
So how have you been, though? Like, are they still bothering you, though?
Well, yeah. I mean, I have ongoing experiences. Not as much activity as, say, 10, 15, 20 years ago. But I'm aware of being taken, screwed around with, like, I guess you could say at least once a month. I mean, I've been waking up sometimes with, like, cuts that aren't, like, just scratches, but, like, they look like scalpel cuts, almost like skin was excised, like a skin sample. And I've been documenting that, taking pictures of it. It's pretty strange.
Yeah. I've had a few things like that happen to me, too, where little cuts and stuff that I don't know, and just, you get that feeling that, you know, something weird happened.
Yeah, because I know, like, if my cat scratches me while I'm sleeping, has a distinct look to it. But these are like cuts, and some of them are deep and took a long time to heal. And I don't remember getting it, and like I didn't even feel it until it started to itch, and I'd reach down to scratch it, and I go like, when did that happen? I mean, it's very not normal. You know, it jumps out at you. So I took a picture of that happened at least a couple times in the last 3 months, more like 3 or 4 times actually. But that's not that strange for me. I mean, that's happened off and on my whole life, and they heal over. And you after a while, you don't even see the scar. So they're getting away with it, I guess you could say.
Like I said, I don't know if you heard from the last show, I was born with a scar in the shape of a triangle.
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah, and it like it kind of was like a white. The skin was all white there, And it not until I was probably about 30 years old did it fade away. And it was like a perfect equilateral triangle. And it started getting rougher around the edges as I grew, but that was freaky.
Just no explanation. Just yeah, that's strange. Wow.
I'm pretty sure I was abducted too. I had this big red fireball thing chase me around my tobacco field, and my brother took off. He was with me, and then I hid in a ditch, and then and this thing came over top me, and then I had a time loss. So
when was this?
That was in 2001, I think.
Wow.
And it was
amazing.
Yeah, this is Whisper. That is Adam's voice you're hearing. Adam Ambrose is on with the Wolfman. Yeah. So somehow I gotta find my intro back. I can't understand why I don't have the intro to my show. I can't find it tonight for some reason. I must have erased it by accident somehow. It's kind of weird. It throws me right off when I don't have that intro. I don't know what to do. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. This fireball I saw was shooting down this blue energy field, like in a conical shape, towards the ground, and it flashed like lightning. Like I never heard anyone else say that there's a lot of fireball sightings, but the one I saw was shooting energy beams down at the earth, and it was coming towards me, shooting these beams down.
That's that's something I've heard, but that you don't hear that often. It was like a red, you said?
More like an orange, like, and it looked like a plasma or fire, like around the surface of this round sphere, but it was shooting down a blue, and it looked almost hazy, almost like a tie-dye effect in the, but very sharp outlines on the conical shape it was shooting down. And I don't know what the hell.
Like a beam instead of like a. It wasn't like a widely dispersed glowing light. It was like a directed beam. No,
it went out in a cone shape, but it had very sharp outlines, and it flashed like lightning. It was very well defined. It looked like something out of Star Trek.
That would scare the hell out of me.
Oh, it was scary, man. I gotta say. Well, like my brother took off. He left me there by myself. Yeah.
Yeah, that. I was out on the lake once at my parents' house, and I saw a strobe light going. It started small, it was like green, and then it got bigger and bigger. It freaked me out, and I ran inside the house, and then later I realized it was these kids that lived down the lake from my parents playing a prank on me, because they saw me sitting out there, and I had like a flashlight, and they had one of the, I don't know what it was, like an emergency flashing road type, what do you call those things? They blink off and on. But this was really bright and strange looking. It really scared me, because you don't just see something like that every day. And I didn't know it was a prank at first. I thought it might be after a while, but it was very scary. So I can imagine seeing what you saw, then having the missing time, of course.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah, we got people coming in late, so I'm glad we're doing this. Yeah, there's another guy that had something happen. Yeah. Mr. C might phone in too. I'm going to see if I can get him to phone in. So what did you see that, like, can you tell me a little bit about your encounters? Did you see any craft? Or did you just
Oh, yeah.
realize that or did you see any actual entities, or how did you come to realize that what was happening to you was an abduction scenario?
Yeah, I mean, that's a long story. It's complicated, but it started just very early on, from the time I was a little kid, and I was having regular visitations. I mean, I did see entities in my house twice when I was a little kid, like under 10 years old, and the typical things that were happening were like very typical nighttime abductions, but also daytime abductions during the day in school. In grade school, I was having missing time during the day, but like at night, waking up and knowing I was going to be visited, and I was just really, really scared as a little kid sometimes. And then I would see, sometimes, I think I was already in an altered state of awareness before I'd see a ball of light come into my room. Sometimes just a gray would walk in, 2 or 3 would walk in my room. Very vivid memories of laying in the bed, just paralyzed, trying to scream and can't scream, terrified, but not always terrified. It happened so regularly that I got used to it, and they conditioned me to. They were like having conversations with me on the craft sometimes, and I remember it, like, we're your friends, and, you know, they did the staring procedure and calmed me to the point where, well, they manipulated my emotions, so I felt like I loved them, you know, and this is all when I was very young. It was weird. It was like I was aware of it as a real thing. Like, I was like, oh, my friends are going to come and visit me. And it was weird because sometimes I'd be terrified and sometimes I wouldn't. But I knew it was real because very early on, I have multiple times, I've had witnesses. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I had this experience where, a nighttime experience, where the craft landed in my yard, a small craft, like the size of a pop tent. And the next day I went out in the yard, and there were these like holes, these deep holes in the ground where it had been sitting. And I told my father, I said, I had this weird dream last night that this spaceship was sitting on the ground right there. And he was like, that's just a dream, madam, you know, it's just a dream. And so these weird things kept happening like that to tell me this is more than just a dream. Like, it kept showing up physically. And then one time, I was in my own room. I knew they were coming. All of a sudden, I got freaked out. I was so scared. I don't know why. I ran down the hallway and jumped into my parents' bedroom. I was wide awake, and I saw 3 grays walk in the room. I was wide awake. I remember it so clearly, and I was just freaked out, confused. I was like, I didn't want to go. I was like, just starting to realize I was being manipulated, and I just thought of them. I didn't even think of them as aliens. I was just like, what the hell? They just look like weird, skinny little monkeys to me. I remember thinking that.
So they try to erase your memory, but it doesn't work on some people.
Right, it doesn't.
Yeah, it didn't work on me.
Work.
It worked on my brother, but it didn't work on me. I think he was abducted too. He took off on his bike the one way, and I think he was abducted too. The next morning, I told him about it. He didn't remember. He would never have remembered any of it had I not reminded him what happened. And then he went, "Oh my God!" I would have never remembered that. It was totally blocked from his memory until I told him about it. So that's what I think. You're one of those people that it doesn't work on you. That's what Wisteria Whisper says in the chat room too. She pointed that out, and I totally agree with her.
I think that's true to a great extent, and it's also true that it does work sometimes because I have limited memories of being on the craft, although I do have a lot of memories. Being on a craft, different procedures were being done. There's just, I've had so many more memories of just partial events where I'll just remember being taken or being returned.
Yeah, see, because you're right, because I don't remember the actual going on the craft. I remember laying there, I remember the thing coming over top of me, and then I had like 2 hours lost time. So
Yeah,
it did. It did partially. You're right. It did partially work on us. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I see that in my own family members, because my brother, who's older than me, we talked about this like 20 years ago. He was going home from work one day. It was late at night, and he's had a strong, compelling feeling like he had to pull over, and he pulls over inexplicably behind this like mini mart, and it was like all dark, and I think the mini mart was closed. It was like real late, and he saw a UFO. He saw a star moving erratically, making right angle turns, and he had missing time following that. And I said, well, do you have any memories of being abducted? And he said no, but he's afraid to explore it. He doesn't want to explore it. He doesn't want hypnosis. So it's in my family. I know that from the time we were little kids. One time he said, that same brother said that he used to sit at the window waiting for Peter Pan to come back, because one night he said he had a weird dream that Peter Pan came through the window, took him through the window, and they flew away. And ever since then, he'd sit by the window waiting for Peter Pan to come back. That was when he was like 7 or 8 years old.
Hey, Adam, it's Eric.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. Eric's here.
Oh, Eric. Oh, hey.
I was sleeping and I woke up and I saw the show was on. Then I saw you were calling in, so I jumped on.
Yep, it was totally spontaneous. I just went on Twitter, saw the Twitter.
Right on, man. Wolfman's a cool dude. I like Wolfman. He's awesome.
Well, thank you. I like you too, buddy.
Yeah. Right on, brother. We've had some fun times on the Wolfman show, Adam. You want to listen to some archive shows, you get some good laughs.
I have to go back and listen. Yeah, no, when I left Twitter, I wasn't listening to a lot of shows. No, I mean, not even like the Heather.
No,
Was it like 3:22 in the morning where you are, Adam, more or less?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's late. You guys are awesome. I can't believe you can
tired,
stay up so late.
Usually I'm really sleepy by now, but I'm not.
Right on.
Worn out.
Hey, Wolfman, have you heard Adam's stories much at all, or do you know his stories?
I know bits and pieces, but I think we're going to have him on for a full show. I think he's coming on Hologram Matrix this week, isn't he?
Yeah, Quantum Hologram Matrix on Wednesday. I'm excited because he's going to get to tell his story how he wants to tell it, and we're not going to sit there and distract him with a bunch of stupid questions.
And what time does that show come on?
That'll be 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, 5 to 7, 8 to 10. The Quantum Hologram Matrix on Spaceball Universe on Spreaker.
So what is that Pacific time?
Yeah, Pacific 5 to 7, and then 8 to 10 on the Eastern Coast. So it'll be 8 o'clock when Adams comes on, right after the initial John Polk comes on and talks for briefly, and then he gets right into the interview. And then I'm going to get to talk to Adam a little bit also, like halfway through the show. I get to come on and talk to him for a little while also.
And you get to talk to him right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. Adam, I want to tell. One of the stories that I like. Well, I shouldn't say I like, but that I'm sure you didn't like it, but it stuck out in my mind. That always kind of pops into my head when you start talking about your experiences. Was I don't know if Wolfman's. Have you heard the story, Wolfman, where Adam talks about the time he was in a school? It's happened. I think it's happened more than once for Adam, but I remember the one time there was I'm trying to remember the best I can, Adam, and you can kind of pick up for me. But you were in a school situation. I think you were in, I forget, maybe the bathroom or somewhere. And then there was the guy that's the janitor.
Oh, right.
And then and somehow the janitor saw one of these beings come through the wall. And do you remember that? You talked about that before, the whole through the wall beings and all that, and what happened then? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was the story I told on Midnight in the Desert that night when Art interviewed me. But,
can you tell that to Adam? Have you heard that one, Adam?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Have you heard that one, Wolfman? I'm sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Adam.
You wanted me to retell that whole thing?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, that was Daytime event. That was, I believe I was like in the, well, I know it was 7th or 8th. I can't pin it down. I think it was 8th grade. I would have been 13. And it was during the day. I was sitting in the classroom. I had a premonition that I was going to be visited. That I just knew I was going to be taken. And I suppose at that point, I was probably already in a slightly altered state of awareness because I wasn't really afraid. I was just sort of like open and receptive to it, like taking orders. Like I felt almost like an order, go downstairs. Like this was like a 2-story building, and it had like a basement level, which didn't have many classrooms. It was just like a wood shop and the locker rooms, so it's creepy down there. And, you know, you'd think if you have a premonition to go down in the basement, you're not going to do it. But I did it, and so I go down there not too long after I'm staying in the hallway. And but I'm still like feeling totally wide awake and lucid, you know. And I see a ball of light at the end of the hallway appear, and it starts moving toward me. Now I know at some point, before that ball of light got up close to me, my consciousness was altered, so it becomes this, you know, like the Oz factor. It becomes very soupy and like dreamlike, but it's still a really vivid memory, though, that this ball of light got really close to me. And I'm trying to remember the exact sequence of events. I may screw this up, but I believe it transformed into a gray right there in the hallway. And there was this janitor's closet that jutted out from the hallway. And we walked into the janitor's closet, and there was communication between me and the being. And I remember as I'm standing there, and the being's like real close to my face, like doing the staring procedure, trying to calm me, make sure I'm ready to go. I noticed a janitor walk in. I'm not like turning and staring at him, but I can see him, you know, my peripheral vision. The janitor walks in, he's staying there, and then he just freezes. And he's just like staring and gets frozen. They freeze him. And then the being and me, the being turned into a ball of light. We teleported like on a beam of light through the brick wall, out of the janitor's closet, and then floated down the hallway. And it's just totally crazy telling these stories, but just bear with me. And so we go down the hallway and then go all the way on the other side of the hallway, make a big U-turn. And to make a long story short, this is the boring part. We went into a classroom, a student was abducted. All I remember is teleporting out of a school window, going up to a craft. I don't remember being on the craft, but I remember coming back. And then when we came back and to the janitor's closet, we came down the hallway, and then the being turned back into a gray, transformed from a ball of light to a physical being. So did I. But we walked through the wall in solid form, not teleported. And I've done this before when I'm in the presence of an alien. They can just walk through a wall. I don't know how they do it. If they're changing the molecular structure of the wall, I don't know. But it's like the wall's not there, and you just walk through it.
Actually, I've seen human beings do this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this guy that I used to train with, he's a kung fu master, my friend Julio, was able to put himself in a trance-like state through meditation and then put his hand right into a solid object and then pull it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anyone doing anything like that. People say that they can do things like that. I've never seen it.
No, I've seen him do it right in front of my eyes. He used to, he was trained from a child, though, with really strange stuff. And he'd go to these, he went to all these conventions and stuff with Patrick Flanagan, where Patrick Flanagan was doing stuff back there with, back in the day with Pyramid Power and all this stuff. His mother would take him to these things when he was a kid. So he was trained from a child in the strange arts. So, yeah, it was pretty interesting. He's the one who showed me a lot of stuff. Really weird things like telekinesis and things like that.
But it's definitely not something that happens every day, walking through a wall. But I didn't tell the ending part. When we walked back into the janitor's closet, right? So then I see the janitor standing there. He's still frozen, and then let's see what happened next. There was more communication between me and the being, and I don't remember what he was saying, but there was communication, and I just remember being aware of the janitor, and seeing that the janitor was not totally switched off, that he had an expression on his face. He was looking at us. I could see he was lucid. He wasn't moving, but he was lucid. And then the alien left again, turned into a ball of light, teleported through the wall. And the janitor came back, too, totally woke up. And I just looked at him and got the hell out of there. I walked out because I was just totally, I was half still in the trance state or something. I was just like going automatically, you know, and I just wanted to get out of there because I was afraid at that point. And the next day is when the janitor came up to me, and he told me, he said, hey, I need to talk to you. Pulled me aside, and he said, I saw you yesterday coming through that wall with that strange creature. He said, what was that? Do you know what's going on? There's something going on. He said, you're in danger. And he was scared, man. He was like shaking. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, that's pretty freaky, man. When you think you might have been dreaming it or something, or then somebody tells you they saw it.
That's
wow.
It's like, because, you know, I have past experiences, right? So then I have a reference for it, so I'm accustomed to it. Like when an event like that would happen, all of a sudden I'd remember the past events, and then it would go away, and I would have this periodic awareness where it would go away. But in that particular day, though, after that same day when it happened, the actual ending of the event was I walked down the hallway. When I was going up the staircase to get back to the classroom, the class bell rang, and then all the kids came down the stairwell, and I remember this one kid who was always used to give me a hard time and criticize me about stuff. I really didn't like this kid, and he stopped me on the steps, and he accused me of like cutting class. And I said, "What are you talking about? I just left the class to take a 5-minute, bathroom break. I just thought 5 minutes had gone by." And he said, "You left the classroom 40 minutes ago." He said the next, the period was over. And I think the whole next period had finished too. But I had lost like 40, 50 minutes of time.
It's wild how Wolfman during the middle of school.
Yeah.
During the middle of school.
I mean, Adam's got a story. I don't know if he wants to tell it tonight. Where there was I'm pretty sure. I'm just totally shortening the story. But if he wants to tell the longer version, where he recalls pretty much the whole classroom. There was a UFO that landed out of the schoolyard, and
oh my God,
the whole classroom saw it. Was that the same event or during a different time, Adam, when that experience happened?
Oh, that was a totally different event. Yeah, that was another day. Another time. No, actually, I was much younger. That was when I was 8 years old. The walking through the walls when I was like 13. Yeah, that was during the day.
Tell Wolfman what happened when you were 8, because that was a mind blower.
Yeah,
you even drew pictures of that and posted on your site for a while. Do you still have those up?
I deleted my old YouTube. No, I don't have them up, but they're going to be up for the interview.
For the show?
Okay, they'll be up somewhere. I sent him all those drawings.
Right on.
Yeah, he's got that. But, yeah, did you just want me to give you a real brief?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, as long as you're awake, tell the story.
I'm thinking I'm going to play a song first because I need a short break because I was working my ass off in between the two shows to get it back on the air, so I got to take a little break. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
I'm just going to play a song that'll give us like 5 minutes, and then we'll be right back.
Cool.
And this is The B-52s, yeah, man. Rockin' with the Wolfman on Monster Castle Paranormal Radio. I guess it did end. It's a good thing I checked. Wow. Too many things going on at once here. I got Anthony Barnet, I believe, from France. He likes to give me some news items, and he's posted some news items on our Facebook. So if anyone wants to go and check that out, that's pretty cool stuff. The grandfather.
So is Anthony Barnet on the show right now, or he just posted some stuff on the site?
He's on Twitter.
Okay.
And yeah, he posted some stuff on our Facebook page, which is Monster Castle Paranormal. You find it on Facebook real easily. So, yeah. What the hell?
Is he posting it in the hashtag 47talk? You remind him to put the hashtag 47talk on anything he posts so we could see it faster.
Oh, I think I know what I did wrong. I think I cut the song off when I went to check the Facebook. Yeah, it cut off. Yeah, I know what I did now. Yeah, oops, my bad. Trying to do too many things at once.
Yeah,
and I'm getting starting to feel the effects of the beer. Drink another one, Wolfman. I cut off Planet Claire by the B-52s. How could you do that?
That was a killer song too. I was starting to groove on that one.
man. Let's see.
Adam, you like music? Don't you play? Don't you play a lot of music, Adam? Occasionally.
Oh yeah, I did. I cut the ending off on that song.
Man, I heard. You know, I have 5 brothers and sisters growing up. I heard all the bands from the classic era of rock.
Yeah, you're. I think you're our age. You're close to near 50, aren't you? Pretty much.
I'm 54.
Yeah.
Just turned 54.
Are you the oldest or youngest? I forget. You might have mentioned before. I don't remember.
I'm the second to the youngest. I've got an older sister who's 60.
Wow. What about you? I don't know if you've ever talked about your sister. Do you guys ever discuss this, or does she have any experiences that you know of, or how does that work?
She has had 1 or 2 experiences which are not as incredible as mine. We have discussed it. She has a family, and she has kids in college, and so she's real busy. We don't see each other a lot, but we have discussed it in the past. When she had a, I helped with multiple abductions, so I remember being taken with her when she was a teenager, and I remember very vividly her being taken out of the room, but we never discussed that. Like, she never said that she had memories, although she told me that she had a bout with sleepwalking. When she was a teenager, all of a sudden she started waking up. She'd be outside the house. She couldn't figure out. She had no memory of going outside of the house. And just this weird sleepwalking. And it was just for a period, and then it stopped. That was my older sister.
What about you, Wolf, man? Do you have any brothers and sisters? I mean, you have a brother, if I remember right, Wolf?
I got an older brother who's really skeptical about all this stuff and makes fun of me. And I got a younger brother who has had probably just as many experiences as me or more, but doesn't want to talk about it. He might text me stuff to say on the air, but he does not want to talk about it publicly on the air. And my mother, too, same way, has told me not to reveal my last name. She doesn't want anybody knowing the family name, and she doesn't want to be bothered about her experiences as well, because she has experiences that go way back. She said when she was pregnant for me, she had a recurring dream. There's a spaceship coming down, landing in the backyard, and alien grays coming into the bedroom and standing there watching her while she's sleeping all night long, every night.
Wow.
Every night. And when I was born, the dream stopped.
Wow. What about you, Adam? Do you have any recollection of anything like that? Or
in the family, other family members?
Yeah, or maybe any kind of experiences along those lines as far as your mother and all that?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Going back to my grandmother on my mother's side, now, this story I heard my grandmother, now she's passed away since, but I've heard her tell the story several times. When my grandmother was pregnant with my mother, she swears that this is absolutely true. And I heard her tell the story, and her emotion was really powerful when she told the story. She believed what she was saying. She had a visitation in the middle of the night. She woke up. She was pregnant with my mother. She was 9 months pregnant, almost ready to have the baby. And she says that she saw her mother in human form walk into the room, come over to the bed. She said she wasn't afraid. Her mother put her hand on her stomach and said the baby will be okay. And she felt real peaceful. She was talking about my mother. That was the pregnancy of my mother.
So it was your great-grandmother that somehow appeared in the room over your grandmother before your grandmother had your mother. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And I didn't, I heard her tell that story when I was a kid, and then years later, when Bud, talked about having cases where Bud Hopkins, cases where the alien beings will make themselves appear as deceased relatives, and I was like, man, maybe that's what that was. Maybe that wasn't really a ghost, but an actual screen memory for an abduction, because they were concerned about the baby. Because they say that word for word, the baby will be okay,
Wow.
concerned about the baby. So that was my grandmother's side. Yeah.
Wow. Have you guys, either one of you two, see, like for me personally, if I had gone through these experiences that you guys have gone through, and John Polk, and even Tiffany and other lots of people, have you tried to research as far as going back to try to like put the pieces together, or you just roll with it? I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's a good question or not. I'm just trying to think about how that would be.
I have really, I'm a big procrastinator, and I have social anxiety, so for me, it's been frustrating because I've always wanted to go and do a big investigation, try to collect witnesses, go back, talk to people. I've tried to do that. I never could pull it off. I never had the money to do it or the time, but I want to do that, you know. But I mean, as far as just sitting down and just vetting it, I mean, just write everything down. I have it all written down, you know, to document it in my memories.
By the way,
a lot of people. Go ahead, Wolf. I'm sorry.
I just want to remind people, by the way, this is an open lines show. If anyone wants to talk to me or Adam or Eric, just call in. You can call in at 775-990-8447, or you can find me on Skype. The easiest way is to actually search for my now you don't get a Twitter name anymore. I mean a Skype name anymore. You have to go by the email. So it's doesmike@outlook.com.
Or they could go into the Spreaker chat, or they can even go #47talk and get your attention that way, and then you can add them in also. If you want to,
yeah,
right?
If they give me their Skype name or their email Skype address, then I can find them and add them in. Yep, that's easier. Yep,
that works. Okay, so I remember what my question was going to be. So you guys, I think I talked to Adam briefly about this once before, but we didn't really get into a deep conversation. And I never think I ever talked to you about this, Wolf, but I know you're aware of this, the MyLab, which is the military abduction phenomena versus the true alien abduction phenomena. And it appears, and I can speculate how this is happening, but I don't know, obviously, but it appears that somehow there is a military aspect, which I don't know if it's the ET making the screen memory so that people think that there's some sort of military involved, so that when they do recall, that their logic and their reasoning and their conscious mind is going to say, oh, that was some sort of military experiment, or if the military somehow, whether it's a shadow government or whatever, or they're working with the reptilians, as crazy as that sounds, that might be true. I mean, do you guys have any speculations or any theories on that?
Adam?
Well, I have a memory of an event where I wasn't taken out of the house, but I was visited, and they weren't aliens. I don't want to say too much about it because it freaks me out to talk about it. I mean, it kind of scares me, the idea of the government, like the military coming after you. And I still have nightmares about like military helicopters. Like I used to be buzzed by like military helicopters. I mean, real low. And I'm not paranoid, but it was right around the time whenever I would start to talk, like when I was talking to Bud Hopkins, I'd get like this feeling like I was being watched and stuff, and I'd hear weird noises on the phone, like the phone was tapped or something. But I had an event where essentially what appeared to be like a frickin' SWAT team came in my house. I wasn't fully conscious. I was conscious for the beginning of it. I heard a helicopter outside the house, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and my memory was altered somehow a little bit, but I was sort of half awake and half asleep, and they just stormed in, grabbed me, shot me in the neck with a needle, screamed in my face. They had like, looked like AK-47s, and they were just like, "Where is it? Where is it?" screaming at me. They were after this implant artifact that they thought I had, because it told Hopkins I had this implant artifact. It wasn't actually an implant, though. It was just a plug that was in my nose. I don't know what it was made of, if it was bodily materials or what. But that, I think that was a real event. It could have been aliens, a screen memory, like you say. And my point is, I really just don't know. I couldn't. I'd be guessing. I'd be speculating.
What was the question again, Eric?
Well, I mean, I guess it's Adam kind of answered it, but I'm just there is this. It's not talked about much on the radio or in the paranormal UFO ET conversations on shows that do these kind of topics. But the My Lab, they're just appear. I mean, okay, this is just a theory and it's speculative for me to even say this, but. We talked about last week a little bit about the Pizzagate, and we didn't really talk about a lot about this whole satanic aspect of what's happening with the pedophilia and all that sort of stuff. But for me personally, I when I first heard about these things, I thought, what is this? How did this start happening? When did it start happening? What's this about? So I found this website. I don't know if it's still online anymore. It was called oneevil.org. It might be oneevil.net now, but it basically had the history of evil. That's what the word they used was evil, EVIL. And anyway, it just goes way, way back to all these things that we're hearing about now on the news with the Pizzagate and satanic worship and My Lab type abductions. It's been going on in different forms for many like centuries. So it's just and then of course there are those people that believe that somehow in the 40s or the 50s, I think when Eisenhower was president, that the particular ET group came in and had some sort of a treaty agreement, a special meeting, and so if one type of ET race or multiple ET race are visiting and are working within our government or our shadow government.
Okay, I've seen a photograph one time that was very convincing, and I believe it was behind one of the presidents in the window of the White House. You can clearly see a little face through the window of a gray alien, and that was it was just like random that somebody just found that. I don't think it was photoshopped or anything. It looked pretty damn real. I don't know how you do the effects of that. The glass looked. How do you Photoshop something behind the glass?
Yeah,
that's kind of tricky to do. Like you'd have to redo the shine on the glass and everything. Like I don't know how you would do that. That'd be really, really hard Photoshop. That one convinced
Here's
me.
What it seems like might be happening is let's say, for example, there is this shadow government, as an example, and some sort of a occult type satanic twist to their whole agenda. So it's possible, it seems like, that somehow they know that certain people, however they learn this information, I don't know, but they know that certain people are getting abducted. They know that certain people, like Adam, for example, are going through these experiences, and then when they find out, then somehow they interject themselves into the scenario or into the scene or into future experiences. Does that make any sense, or do you think that's even possible?
I don't think that the presidents or the prime ministers or anyone in power is actually in power at all. I think there's always been a dark governing power behind everything. That's what I think. It just makes sense to me. And these people they put in front of the public are just puppets. Because they never do anything different. They always say they're going to do it, but they don't really ever do anything different. They go this place and that place, shake hands with people. When do they have time to actually do the real politics? Because all they're doing is socializing.
Yeah, or eating pizza.
Yeah.
What about you, Adam? You got a take on that at all, or you have any thoughts on that?
Not really. I mean, I don't. Of course, I have opinions, but I don't have specific theories that I believe in. I think about that kind of stuff. Like I speculate.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into the politics. I like where our show is going with just the weird alien encounters.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll say it this way. My overall view of what's going on is that the visitors view Earth as some sort of school or genetics lab. We're secondary to them. I don't think they're malevolent, but I'm agnostic, so I don't really take like an evil slant on it. Like I don't really believe they're evil, although I do agree with you guys that
you just read my mind, buddy. I was going to ask you that whether they're malevolent or whether, and what's the most positive thing about your experiences? Did they give you any gifts?
Gifts. I don't. Physical gifts, like objects, or you mean just mental? Well, I don't know. The only thing they imparted on me always consistently, they're always telling me, "You're part of us. We're watching over you. We're protecting you." They saved my life on multiple occasions. But then I look back and I go, well, maybe that's because they view me as their property and they just want to protect their asset. So I don't know if it's because I have that as abductees we're special as individuals, or we're just special because they own us and we're slaves, But I mean, they terrified me and they traumatized me. So I don't think for me it's not overall positive. I don't think it's totally negative because I think I've felt emotion from them, like especially when I was a little kid, like genuine compassion. I felt that, and that's what I believe is they do have that, but so do humans, I always say that, like, humans can do really awful things, but have also great compassion for other people.
Even the evilest bastards can still pull up compassion once in a while. That's true.
Yeah.
And they imagine it the other way around, that's themselves there and not... once in a while it crosses their mind what they're doing. What if that was me on the other end of that? And then they'll actually have compassion for a brief second or two. Then they go back to their evil.
Darren had a good question in the chat. Has these abductions, Adam, well, let's just say your ET experiences, have they affected your potential relationships or maybe any kind of intimate relationship you might have with a woman, or what I mean? How does that affect your whole relationships with people?
Not really. It doesn't. I have my life, and sometimes it has, because there's these multiple abductions, and I've lost friendships. I've lost friends because it comes up. Like, I've had friends that saw UFOs, and then they don't want to talk about it, and then I'm like, oh, why don't you report it? And they're like, if you keep talking about this, I'm never going to talk to you again, that type of thing. But those were like friends. It never impacted really on a relationship. Just because I choose who to talk to about it, And I don't really talk about it that much. It's like, if someone's a part of it and they see something and then it's inevitable, then you have to confront it. But it's interfered with when I started to remember all my memories at once. After having periodic awareness, when I read Intruders, it triggered my memory. And in 1993, I started talking to my family a lot about it, and they got crazy. They were like, stop talking about this. They just flipped out after a while.
Yeah.
They got so sick of hearing about it.
Yeah, I would say that not with women. I think the women have always been very supportive of it, but not my family. They get sick of hearing about it. They don't want to hear about it. Especially my dad. He gets right pissed off. That's not real. Blah, blah, blah. He don't believe in any of that shit. So he doesn't want to hear about it. He doesn't. He just pisses him right off. Especially if I talk politics. That really pisses them off. That's why I don't like. Some people get really ticked about that and turns them right off when you tell political opinions, and that's why I like to keep my show like sort of not into the politics really. Abductions and that is cool. I don't think that it really had a negative impact on me. I would say that they wanted to communicate with me, and I should have stuck my hand inside that ball when it was floating in front of me. That's what I had the feeling, to stick my hand in there, and I never did, and I regret that. That wasn't me hiccuping, by the way, Mark. You heard a beer hiccup. I hear somebody clinking around stuff in the background, but I don't know.
I don't know what
that's Eric. I don't know what you're doing.
Well, that was me. The cat was outside the door meowing, so I had to open the door and let him in, but I'm sorry about that.
On the last show, we were hearing female voice here and there, and there's no explanation for that, and it gave me the creeps. And Jeff was actually, he said his hair stood on end, and he was actually scared for a minute there. That was weird. I don't know what that was, but whoever it is, come back and talk to us. I want to hear it again. Who are you? What's your name? Come back.
Can I ask you a question, Wolfman?
Sure, man.
Have you ever had an experience where you'll be out during the day and you hear like a whispering in your ear?
All the time. I have that all the time. I have someone calling my name, and I look and there's nobody there. Especially, and we talked about this before, if there's like power tools on or someone's running a vacuum cleaner, then I hear all kinds of stuff and weird music and all kinds of weird stuff. If there's
I do too. Yeah, I have. Sometimes in the morning, if I'm mostly awake. I might be in a slightly sleep state still, waking up slowly, but really, sometimes I will hear a voice whispering, and I can just barely make out what they're saying. And it freaks me out because I'm not sure if it's part of the encounter experience or if that's a dream or what that is. But sometimes a person will hear it during the day. I've heard abductees say during the day when they're wide awake. When I was a kid in school, sometimes I'd hear this weird electronic beeping in my ears, like a computer. This was in the 70s. And I asked my father about it, he's a physician. I said, what is that weird electronic beeping that happens inside a person's ear? And he looked at me like I was crazy and said, there is no electronic beeping that you're going to hear in your ear.
I used to hear that too, man. That's strange. I'd hear and sometimes it would just be a high-pitched whining sound, like really high-pitched whining sound, and it would get really, really strong, and then it would quiet down and come back, a different frequency. Do you ever get that, the high-pitched whine?
Oh, I've heard tones, high tones, and a lot more when I was a kid. During the day, this would happen in my ear. I would get tickling in my ear and high-pitched tones and these electronic little beeps. And also, I was a very borderline, like, autistic kid, and I used to see, like, colors and shapes and things manifest around people. But I don't know if that's part of this.
You know what? My friend from Spaced Out Radio, Dave Scott, he told me that one time he was seeing geometric shapes, and at first he thought it was a headache, and then he was seeing shapes like triangles, squares, and circles, and I think he said when a circle came into his head, then the headache went away. And then he knew there was something in his backyard, and he went out there, and there was a ship that landed in his backyard. So that's their way of communicating, I do believe, is to show shapes. So they do talk to you telepathically. You're aware of that, right?
absolutely. And they'll use tones just before I'm taken. Sometimes I'll hear high-pitched tones, intermittent tones, or a buzzing sound.
And you are you still being abducted now up to this day?
Yeah, I'm positive I am. Not as powerfully that I can remember it and like I'm experiencing it real time. Every once in a while, a couple times a year, I'm like in an altered state of awareness, and all of a sudden, I see a gray. I'm in the presence of grays, and they're communicating with me. I'll have a sensation of great acceleration, which I associate with being taken, and sometimes I'm floating back down to the bed, and I'm aware of it, floating back down to the bed. And one time I woke up, this is about 7 years ago, I had this experience in an altered state of awareness. I woke up, and I walked out of my bedroom into the living room. I was teleported through the window down to the ground, and there was about a 25-foot wide craft hovering over the grass. The next day, in a circular area right in that spot, the grass was all, like, not burned black, but like dried up and just dead. And the grass never regrew there. Like, to this day, I looked it up on Google, actually, and there's a perfectly round circle of, like, where the grass won't grow. Like, there's grass, but it's, like, dark, it's, like, gray. It's not like, you know, it's, like, affected. The soil must have been affected.
Wow, that's freaky.
The growth of the grass.
Eric, do you think you were ever abducted, or what do you think?
You know, I don't, I guess what, I haven't really, it's weird. I'm not really sure why this whole thing is such an obsession for me. I don't understand it really. It's just so interesting, and I don't know. I don't recall. I don't think I have. I guess it's possible. Maybe
I've got a test. I've got a test you can do. Okay. Now stand up and then just jump up and down a little bit. I tricked you. You're a rabbit.
I got to confess, I did not stand up and jump up and down.
Oh, I tried to make you jump like a rabbit with the sound effects and everything. Man, almost got you.
Yeah. But I believe, I mean, for someone who has not experienced it, who has no direct evidence or direct memory of anything of this nature, I have no doubt about anything you guys are saying. I've just heard too many people tell their stories, and there's just no way that they could be made up. People that really doubt these encounters, they just haven't really taken the time to really pay attention for very long, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah. One thing that I don't know if you know this, Wolfman, is that Adam's ghost has experienced this thing which he calls co-opted abduction, which I think, is that the right word, co-op? Is that what you use, Adam?
Yeah, that's a Hopkins term, I think, co-opted.
Yeah,
Co-op.
And maybe you could tell Wolfman a story. For example, for whatever reason, I don't know if it still happens, but it used to happen where they would almost use Adam somehow to help assist these ET in facilitating abductions of other people or children that were around or in Adam's presence. You want to tell a story about that, Adam?
Yeah, I could tell you a story, and I could tell you without going to, we don't have time, but I've actually witnessed. I had people after some events come up and say they saw me in their damn house, and that happened 3 times. But on this one occasion, the story I was going to tell, they didn't witness me in the house, but this goes back to high school. It was a multiple abduction. It was a couple of, they were twins. They were a couple years younger than me. I think I was a senior in high school. They might have been freshman or sophomore. And they're actually in my younger sister's grade. We were on the same tennis team together, so we knew each other. So one night I wake up, and I had a premonition I was going to be visited. Same old story. I was wide awake. I don't know why I did this. I don't know why I went along with it, but I rode out on my bike to this house that was just a couple blocks away where these kids lived. I was like 16, 17. Let's see, I think I was 17. And they were probably like 14 at the time, 15 maybe. And I rode to the top of this hill, and I had a UFO sighting. I remember seeing this dark circular form move over my head, and that's all I saw. It was just dark and circular. And then my consciousness was altered. It became very kind of strange and foggy, but I was still lucid. And I remember floating up to the craft, and I remember it real time, like memories I remembered the next day, but it was like really happening. And we came down out of the craft, so presumably the craft moved over to where this house was, came down out of the craft, went up the hill to the house, went into the bedroom in ball of light form. There was one twin on one bed, one twin on the other bed. They approached the bed, and the alien was in ball of light form, and I wasn't. I was standing there watching this kid sleep. Okay. So me and the being were in each other's minds, communicating telepathically, so they'd prompt me what to do. So they entered this kid's dream, and I entered his dream psychically. I'm in the dream, and in the dream I started talking to the kid. And at one point I said, "This isn't a dream." I said, "You're going to wake up." I said, "Wake up now." And he woke up. He wasn't fully awake, but he woke up from the dream, and he saw me staying there. He didn't see an alien. He saw me, so he wasn't afraid. And I said, my friends want to show you something. Come with me. I want to show you something. My friends want to show you something. So he came willingly. We go out of the bedroom. We actually floated out, so we must have teleported out. And through the glass doors, we went up into a craft. I remember being on a craft. I remember seeing both twins sitting there. They had some sort of an apparatus on their head, and I've seen this before. I don't know, it was some kind of mental procedure. They do like visualizations. I don't know why they were studying their minds, if they were putting information in or getting information from them. But there's this intense communication going on with them. I was just standing there observing it. And then they went back, and that's about, there's further details, but I don't want to talk about it, but that's the gist of it, where I was used as a go-between, so they wouldn't see an alien and be totally freaked out, apparently. And I remember being on craft sometimes, and they would just prompt me, like, calm her. It'd be a woman a lot of the times, and I would be, like, stroking her hair, and just like the aliens did to me, like, don't be afraid, just, you're doing good. Stay calm, everything's going to be okay, that type of thing. Apparently I was really good at it because they kept using me over and over to do that. It was quite something. That went on for years, like 30 years. I have like over 200 memories of doing that. Co-opted abductions.
Kurt Green is trying to phone in. I'm trying to get him on here.
I'm not going to be able to go a huge amount of time longer because it's getting so late, but I can go a little longer.
Okay.
I'm fading out. I'm getting tired.
Okay. Well, it's whenever you feel like it. Maybe we should take a little break here, and I've been dying to hear this song by Adam and the Ants. You like Adam and the Ants?
Yeah, I do. I haven't heard them in a long time, actually.
Okay, I'll put this on, and then if you feel like going longer after, or if you don't, then it's okay.
Yeah, I can go till I fall asleep. I'm talking and I'm getting more sleepy as I talk, but yeah, I'll take a break, and I don't know. My cats are distracting me too. They keep jumping up on my desk.
Okay, we're going for a little musical break here. All right, the Adam and the Ants, Puss in Boots.
There's a cat going to London, looking for love and for fame. I wish told her city folks ain't the same. Pussycat carries a postcard. I want the big city be nice. That's the place with the action. Gonna have her slice. Pussycat, pussycat, where have you been? I've been to London and I'm queen. Simply, I don't wear suits. The mice all call me. Pussycat laughs at the warnings. Oh, there's a woman's away. I think you'd agree if you saw her. A rose built in a day. Pussycat's read all the papers. Seen the movie knows. All the streets lead to somewhere, and the pavement's gold. Pussycat, pussycat, where have you been? I've been to London, and now I'm queen. Simply, I don't wear suits. The mice all call me.
All right. I don't know why I just craved that song right now. What's going on here?
What's going on, guys?
Whoa.
We here to play a game.
What
Loser
the
has to sit back.
Oh. This is something, looks like somebody sent me something called gin and juice. I'll have to look that up. Kurt Green, if you're listening, I'm trying to add you on the other line, so I sent you a request on the Wolfpack line 47. All you got to do... Oh, I think I can call him now. Yep. Okay, we're going to try that. And I'd have lost Eric, too. Okay, there we go. I think I got Kurt. Kurt, are you there, buddy? Hello, sir. You're on Monster Castle Paranormal. got this turned up? Yeah. You should be on. Kurt, are you there? My gosh. It shows he's there. It shows.
Oh, I was on mute.
Okay, there you go. There we go.
My Lord.
How are you, sir?
Doing great. How are you?
Awesome, man. I'm glad.
Cool.
I'm glad you found my show, man.
Yes, I'm so bad at technology. It took me forever to try to figure out how to do that, but yeah, got you added now.
Right on.
So cool.
So sweet. Yeah.
You listened to Heather?
Oh yeah.
I wish Art would be able to come back. Doggone it.
Yeah. She could call in too if she wants.
Heather can too?
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to have her call in.
Had she added herself yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't tried doing that yet.
Maybe she will.
One day, I'm sure she will. I should give her an invite. She called. She was on my friend Mr. Haunted's show.
Yeah.
Cool. Adam, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Oh, right on. Okay. Do you know Kurt Green from hashtag DM Talk?
You know, the name's familiar, but
I've never talked to Kurt personally, but this is the first time for me too. But this is Adam Ambrose from a little while back. He was trying to get people to listen to him on DM Talk, and a lot of people are giving him a hard time.
Yeah, I'm not. Just a couple.
I'm new to the computerized aspect of life, but I can tell you that Art Bell started way. I was 24 probably. I'm 58, just turned 58, 48 now. And Art Bell, the original switchboard operator for Hyatt Regency Phoenix that opened in 1976. I worked at the Hyatt 93 and worked graveyard. And then Pauline, that lady, had her little AM radio there set up next to her switchboard, took the late night calls, and it was this Art Bell, this man with a deep voice like that. And I'm like, and so we got done checking in the guests. I checked in the late night people. And so that back office, we had a door there. And Pauline had him playing in 93 it was. And just stung me and never have not listened to him since. And even the night that Jacqueline Kennedy died, 94, I even faxed him a statement about Mrs. Kennedy dying and how she's with her husband now. 1994, that night. And that's my first memories of Art Bell. Good.
Oh yeah.
In stone.
And he's doing all right now, isn't he? I think some good news.
Gonna have a baby.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Good stuff.
And how's your folks doing? I heard that one of them was not doing so good a little while ago.
My dad doing all right. He taking this new drug and making him feel expensive as heck. But we find the monies to take care of it. But he's doing well. Thanks for asking. Thank you for your prayers.
Oh, no problem, sir. Yeah, I sent lots of light vibration out that way, and
appreciate that.
Healing love vibration.
Yeah, I want to go now. I'll see you all later, okay?
Okay, well, thanks for calling in, Kurt. We really like to hear from you. You take care
now.
You too.
Be
sir.
good.
Alrighty. Hey, that was one of my old-time friends on hashtag DM Talk from Twitter. He's a very nice gentleman, eh? What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, that's yeah. This is it's all new to me. It's just great that you can do this, and I'll communicate this way. And I never listened before, but I'm definitely going to go back and listen to some shows. I just took such an extended break.
Yeah. And we lost Eric. I don't know if he's going to call back or not. But I think, Eric's asking. I think it's just Kurt Green. Let me see. Where is it? On Twitter. He's just... oh, my gosh. Where is it now? It's just Kurt Green, I believe. At Kurt Green, I think. Yeah. I don't know, my thing's screwing up on me here. Oh yeah, it's Kurt Green 1 at Kurt Green 1. That's it. So, is there anything else you want to talk about before you get too tired?
My mind is freezing. No, I'm just getting ready for the interview next week with John Polk, and thinking about that. And so that'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. But I've never done that kind of a format where it's so. He's an experiencer, I'm an experiencer, and this is very different. This is very, very different from being interviewed by like Dr. J, Jimmy. So I'm a little bit, I'm not used to this.
Oh, this is the way I do this. As I leave it wide open for you to and I just want you to feel comfortable and talk about whatever. I'm not going to pry into anything you don't want to talk about, because I've been in the same situation as you, so a pretty similar one.
Yeah. I don't. The thing about me is I have a lot that I can talk about, and it's funny because of my personality, I'm introverted. I don't like to impose myself, and I'll just be real quiet a lot of times, and people will ask questions, and I'll answer the questions. A lot of times I'll be thinking, I could be saying a lot more interesting stuff than this, but I'm not volunteering information. I'm just answering questions. So sometimes people don't really realize like the vastness of the experiences I've had, all the different kinds. They don't know what to ask me. And so it's like all I can do is answer questions. So I think these formats like yours are better. It's more
thank
open.
you.
You can go anywhere, but with a more Hollywood type, as Eric said, some of these Hollywood type shows that they're great and they're great hosts. But it's more. They don't have as much time. It's more boom, 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 soundbite answers. Art Bell is amazing, though. I mean, he's the same way. It's entertaining, but he's just better at it. He's just so genuinely interested in it. It was so easy to talk to him. I thought I was going to be nervous talking to him. I wasn't nervous at all talking to him.
When
we talked
did you?
For like 5 minutes before we went on the air, too.
I don't even remember you being on the air with Art Bell. Was that last year or the year before?
It was the night I would say James Cameron, he's the film director. Grant Cameron, July 27th, 2015. Yeah, you know what? It was the first week of shows. It was like the 5th show, I think, after Art came back. Yeah.
Oh,
when Dr. J
on Midnight in the Desert.
Yeah, Midnight in the Desert. Dr. J was the producer that first week. And
Oh, you
Dr.
were like
J
one of the first one. I might have missed that. Yeah, I might have
July
missed that.
27th. My name's not on it, so if you look it up, you have to look up Grant Cameron, July 27th.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not on YouTube either.
Oh, your name is not on the thing.
No, because
Okay.
it wasn't planned. They called me 5 hours before the show. They said, "Do you want to do the show?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to talk to Art Bell." Yeah.
That's strange, because I thought when we were talking that you had said you haven't told anyone your story yet when I was chatting with you on on Twitter.
No, I mean, you know, I get misunderstood a lot, you know, because on Twitter you're talking little sound bites, and I mean, I had times in the past when I talked and then stopped talking and then started talking. I don't remember what I said, but I'm always honest and upfront. You know, I mean, I'll just try to answer people's questions, and it gets convoluted sometimes. I had people like accuse me of, after doing interviews of like going, "That makes no sense." I'm not saying you're doing that. It's this other guy who was endorsing my case, and then he went to my YouTube page. It's like, but the problem is some people don't understand certain concepts like suppressed memory and missing time, and or how you can see a craft, then they suppress the memory, you forget it, and then you remember it later. It's like I get tripped up in the telling of it. It's hard to explain some of the stuff. I have a nervous personality, so I may have tweeted something to you inaccurate. I may have misunderstood your question or something like that. So it could have been my fault.
Oh, no worries. I believe Darren's on here with us. He's a really good friend of mine, and he might have a few questions for you.
I'm back.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't stand it. I had too many questions. I kept sending them off to you on the chatter, but
it's hard for me to read that while I'm trying to also get people on I was trying to add people in at the same time. It's hard to watch everything.
Well, I'd like to ask them some more questions.
I'll get better at it yet, though.
I was wondering, do you have any memories for being on the ship ever? Any of them?
That question's for me or for Wolfman?
Oh, it's for you. I know all about Wolfman.
No, I don't have any from the ship.
I have several from the time I was a kid through my 20s into my 30s. And
are they the same type of ships every time, or are they always different?
Different. There's different types. Like mainly, there's the I would see a craft about 25, 30 feet across that would have one relatively small room and a round room with an examination table. I never saw, like some people report, like 1,000 tables and huge crowds of people. All I ever saw was, I think I saw once 2 or 3 tables, and I saw someone else on the examination table. Usually I just see one, but sometimes there's these smaller craft, which I call elevator lifts, about the size of a pop tent or a phone booth, and they'll lower these down in people's backyards where there's not enough room to get a larger craft in. So I saw a lot of that, like going up on a small craft into a larger craft. So it varied, and they weren't always shaped the same, different shapes, like spheres.
Sounds like The Arrival. Did you see that movie?
Which movie?
The Arrival, or the new one?
The new one? No,
and they have a little pod that comes
that.
out of the craft all the way down, and then she hops in it. It goes back up to the bigger craft. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's a good movie. You should see it if you get a chance.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Have you ever bumped into anybody that was on the ship in real life down below later?
I've never been recognized. Yes, I mean, I've communicated with people that I was abducted with afterwards, but I already knew them before. I think you're asking, like, people I didn't know that just we recognized each other or something?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
That.
It's like, oh my gosh, I've seen her before.
Well, actually, I have been recognized. There was I alluded to this earlier. There was a multiple abduction. We were I used to do a lot of landscaping, and there was a teenager who was taken. And the next day, we went in to get some cold water. He said, "You want some cold water?" And this kid was just staring at me, and he said, "That's him. I remember you from last night." And his brother was just like laughing off his nerves, just like, "No, it was just a dream. That was just a dream." I was like, No. I saw him in the house. That's him." And I remember he was taken, and he was like just staring at me, and he was freaked out. He claimed that he saw me in his house. Like, he didn't say, oh, it was like breaking and entering or some weird thing like that. But he was describing having this strange visitation in the middle of the night. And he says he remembers me coming in the house.
Right.
So that happened to me 3 times. People told me that.
Weird.
Yeah, it's really weird, and it's upsetting. It's weird to talk about these things.
In what way is it upsetting?
Well,
just you don't have control?
I mean, at the time, I'm referring to, like, going through it, it's upsetting because, like Wolfman alluded to before, you know, with this periodic awareness, sometimes I was certain of what was going on, and other times I wasn't. I'd have a strange, inexplicable event, and it would freak me out because then all of a sudden the next day, someone would come up to me. Like, I had someone come up to me in grade school once, and I thought this was just a dream. I wasn't sure, but they saw a craft hovering over my house. Him and his father said they saw it. Oops. And it was the same night I had a visitation. And it would just scare the hell out of me, because the other thing is they're scared. They're coming up to me trembling and scared. I had people go like, are you an alien? And it's freaking me out. And it's very upsetting. And like I told John Mack when he interviewed me, I said, I feel bad about this. I feel bad enough that I'm the victim and that I helped these, you know, creatures. I was going to say a bad word there. But I just feel...
It's all right on the late night show here.
It's involuntary.
Darren, I'll be right back.
Sure.
Can you hang on? Hold on.
I'll hold down the fort. I'll hold down the spaceship. Yeah, that's kind of... Have you come to terms with it? I mean, you said you've had like 200 different experiences. How old are you now?
Mm-hmm. I'm 54 now. Yeah, I've come to terms with it. I think as best you can. I've been through different stages emotionally where, you know, I had a lot of anger for a period. I had a lot of fear in my 30s. Mm-hmm. And I, you know, I'm not happy about it. Like, I try not to think about it. I work with Bud Hopkins. He used to tell me, put it on a shelf. You know, he didn't want me to do a book. I was writing a book. He said, don't do a book now. Put it on a shelf. Let us do our research first. Then you can do that later. You know, I don't focus on it. And if I think about it too much...
It doesn't define you as a person. It just happens to be something unusual that you talk about. Is that right?
It's such a part... Yeah, I mean, it's such a part of who I am because I'm emotionally invested in it. And it's my memories. And that's the thing that is hard to convey is, like, it's not just... it might be just a story to someone listening. But I experienced it real time with my friends, with my family. And it's so personal, you know? And it's almost...
It sounds like they erase some memories, too. And then you get flashbacks, and you don't know what... You can't follow the line of what really happened, huh?
Okay, I've got a really good question. Why do you think they... Oh, sorry. Why do you think they picked you or us, or whatever? Why do you think they picked us? And what do you think they want, or what do you think they're trying to do? And do you think it has anything to do with, like, did anything like that happen to your mother or any of your family, like, before you? Like, say your mother or your father?
My aunt used to see balls of light floating through their house when she was a kid. This would go back to the 30s and 40s. I'm trying to think who else. I had another aunt two aunts actually, who have had UFO sightings, and you asked me if it was in the family. Well, my brothers and sisters, many people in my family have seen strange creatures. Like, my older brother once said I was sleeping over at his place, and he said he saw an angel come through the window. He described it as a bright light, and he thought it had wings. And I had an uncle who I was staying over with once with my family, and he said he thought he saw the devil standing at the foot of his bed. And, like, they're all, like, my grandfather said thought he saw gremlins. Again, I was sleeping over. It always coincided with my memories of an abduction, and they would say they saw these creatures, and they wouldn't say it's aliens, but they would invariably say gremlins, demons, angels, or just strange creatures. That happened like 10 times, like over the period of like 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
Family members.
Do you share your stories with your immediate family? Hello?
My immediate family? Yeah.
Well, yeah. Do they know all your stories, and do they believe you? What do they think?
They don't know all my stories. They know that I am saying I was abducted by aliens. I used to talk about it a lot when all my memories came back at once. In the 90s, I had prior awareness to 1993, but it was more periodic awareness. And I started talking about it. So yeah, they're aware of it. My father is very skeptical. I think he is confused. He's in denial. He doesn't research.
Yeah.
He doesn't even look at it.
Mine too.
I told my father that, hey, I'm doing an interview. He doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah, mine doesn't. My dad doesn't even want to listen to my show. So why do you think?
My father's that way.
Why do you think they picked us?
Well, I don't know, except from what the consensus being is that it runs in families, which is what I'm trying to convey. I think that they're following a certain
lineage,
genetic quality, maybe. Something about the genes. I don't think it's totally random. There are random abductions,
not at all.
What they call opportunistic abductions, but that's not what I experienced. I think I'm part of a bloodline
program
that goes way back.
Huh.
So, yeah, Kurt Green is still chatting with me in Skype, and he's talking about wheels in the sky. He talked about from the Bible. Do you think those are UFOs too? And they talk.
I do. Yeah, I'm agnostic. Yeah, so I think that we kind of alluded to that earlier about the government not being in charge. I believe that. I believe this world's controlled by an advanced intelligence behind the scenes. Not every little thing in their daily lives, but overall the whole structure of society, the reason why we're always at war, the reason why there's so much violence, why people can't get along. I think they engineered all that as a distraction.
Who did? Who engineered that?
As the alien visitors.
Really?
Going way back. I believe that. I mean, it's not something that, this is speculation. It's not something I'm saying I know I'm right. It's just I'm venturing my educated guess about it.
I don't say that, not the aliens, that that's the government, and the government's trying to throw you off so that you, but I don't know, that's like you said, there's good and bad in every culture, so there's probably good and bad in the alien culture too. So some of them probably don't want us to know certain things. And others would tell you anything you want.
Yeah.
Adam, do they usually look the same for you, or have you seen different types of aliens?
They usually are the grays, but there's variances in the grays, because some of the grays were really short, like 2 feet tall, and some were taller, and they varied in color. But I also saw Nordic being once. That was only one time. But yeah, other than that, grays. And I think
do you think the Nordic one was in charge?
I'm not sure.
Was the Nordic one in charge of the Greys? I always thought that was weird with Travis Walton's story. I mean, how he said he was abducted by the Greys, and then next thing he knows, he's in a bigger ship with the Nordics. To me, it sounded like it captured the ship and they took over. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I don't have the answer. I'd be speculating, and so I wonder. I don't know. It's something I wonder about. If the Nordics may be in charge, but that may be a ruse. That they may really just be the Greys presenting themselves more human-looking, so we won't freak out as much. I know that. Yeah.
Do you think the Greys
I don't know.
Sorry. Do you think the Greys are robots? or androids?
You know, again, I don't know, and I don't have a strong opinion about it. And I've heard people saying they're androids. I think that's, yeah, I think it might be.
I don't know why I'm going to ask this, but something's telling me to ask you. Do you remember any smells aboard the ship or afterward?
No. That's too. I've been asked that before about smells. That's vague for me. I can't remember specifically. I know I have, but I can't remember it like clearly. That's a foggy memory.
You're gonna like talking to Reverend John Polk. He liked being abducted, or he had a positive experience, I guess. He says it's the greatest thing that ever happened to him. I don't know.
No. Well, I mean, I can relate. It's you can feel overwhelmingly positive, but I think it's a manipulation. They make you feel good. They'll make you feel euphoric. They manipulate how you feel. So I can relate to that. I had memories that were really felt good, but overall, then I had those terrifying ones. So I'm like, wait a minute. That's a manipulation, so I feel angry about it.
Did you ever get angry enough to like retaliate, like smack one or something?
Oh yeah, I actually talked about that on the air. I did smack one of them. I punched one of them right in the face.
Oh, I think I remember that.
I did.
Was that on Art Show?
I don't remember if it was Art. Or
I think it might have been, because I think What happened again? Can you tell the story?
Yeah, this was a multiple abduction. It's actually tied to some UFO photographs I tweeted earlier this evening. I was abducted with a high school friend of mine. They went fishing on the lake. My parents live on a lake, and they went out in 2 boats. And I almost went with them, but they didn't have room. And we were socializing, on the water before nightfall. And then they went out fishing, and I went in the house. I remember being taken and picking up my friend. One of them was left in the boat, and the other was taken. So I have a memory of being on our craft and seeing my friend come up through the floor of the craft. Of course, I'm not wide awake. I'd have a heart attack if I was wide awake. I was in an altered state of awareness on the craft, always. But the next morning, I went out. Oh, wait a minute. Now I'm telling the UFO story. You want to know about punching the alien on the craft?
Whatever, it's great stuff.
On the table. Yeah.
You're on it.
Well, you're gonna punch.
I'm sorry, we were both talking. So they had you on a table and you punched one of them?
Well, not on the table. I was on the table first. And they were poking me, and I don't remember specifically what they were doing in that. But when I got off the table, I was just standing there, and with the beings around me, I saw my friend on the table, and he had a bad moment. Okay, so he was struggling. They were holding him down like a vet would when they press like a cat's head down to give him a shot, and it made me angry, and I got pissed off. And so was there escorting me out just before I left the craft. They said stand on the circle, which they do sometimes, and go down through the floor. Just before I did that, they weren't holding me, and I just had a moment of lucidity, and I spun around and punched one of them right in the eye. I was so angry. I'm getting angry now just thinking about it.
How did he react? Do you remember?
Excuse me?
Do you remember how the alien reacted?
Yeah, I was going to say he didn't go down, but he just kind of was stunned and wobbled and his head kind of reacted like in a boxing match you would. His head went to the side. His eye collapsed. It seemed to be made of plastic, like it had like a hard covering over it, and it cracked. And immediately,
did it rip or crack?
Sound like this?
Crack. It seemed to crack like it was I say plastic, but it was like that, like like plastic, not a rip like fabric.
Almost like a contact.
I almost think they wear
like
masks. Sounds like he was wearing a mask of some sort, like a kind of a helmet. Maybe that they look like that because they're wearing some kind of helmets.
That reminds me of the alien autopsy when they pull the
face.
That's weird, man.
Yeah, look at how.
Do they blink?
I don't have a specific memory of blinking, but I have a memory of seeing what appeared to be eyelids, like a lot of fleshy skin around the upper eyes and the sides, like wrinkly folds, which could have been eyelids. Don't remember specifically blinking.
Did you ever have an experience that was more lucid than all the others, like one where they just didn't put you quite out enough where you could really remember everything? Did you ever have it?
Yeah, I had many little moments though. Like it wouldn't be like through the whole time of being on a craft incredibly lucid, but sometimes they'd have conversations with me, and it was almost like they wanted me to remember because they were showing me things and telling me things, and I remember some of that. Very, very lucid. And the weird thing is, not afraid. They would take the fear away. That is the strangest thing. But conversations where I remember I
Go ahead.
Oops.
Oh, please.
Sorry, I goofed up. Hang on. That's Kurt. Kurt's on. How you doing, Kurt?
With a T.
I'll get Adam back on here. Adam to the call. But
is he there?
That
guy?
I actually goofed up, but I'm going to add him in. Hang on a second.
Lord.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do it because he called on the.
I'll hang up and call back if you want.
No, you can stay on if you want, but I'm not sure how. I'm going to add him.
I've got to turn off your other.
Here it is.
Here.
Oh, if you do keep talking, it'll stop echoing.
Okay.
It should.
Lord God, that guy's a nut.
Oh, but I don't know if.
Well,
there we go. I think Adam's back. Is he?
Hello, Adam.
Oh no! Damn. That happens sometimes with Skype, though. I added the call the wrong way. It was my fault, actually.
I'll hang up. You figure it out. I'll call back.
Okay.
He was just going to tell us this.
Oh, hello.
The lucid. Hey, it's Darren. He was just about to tell us the lucid story that he got from him. That was maybe it was some important information.
Let's see if I can get him back. Resume call. Adam?
I'm probably too cocktailed to say anything anywhere right now. But I just...
Yeah, we do have a 2-drink limit. You've only had 2, though, right?
What?
A wolf man.
Yeah. Oh no, that's all right. On this after show, then there's way more than that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. I got him back.
Is he there?
I think so.
Adam?
It shows that he's here. I think you might have it on mute, Adam. Oh, what the heck? I got 2 calls going on. Hang on a second. I got too many calls going on. There we go. That should work. Oh. Look at me. I know how to use a phone. I got 100 million phones here. Oh. What is going on? Call from Adam. Call from Kurt. Add to group. Adam, are you there? You should be. Damn. Adam?
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
Hey.
No, this is someone new.
Or is this Kurt?
Kurt.
Okay, well, it shows you're both on now.
Cool.
But I don't hear Adam.
Adam.
Hope you didn't get.
There he is. I hear something.
During our show.
Well, that's Darren. Yep.
Well,
you wanted to talk to Adam. I know. I'm trying to add him in.
I don't. I really don't. I just. I thought
What do you
when he
think of
was
the show?
talking about hitting aliens in the face and all that, I just don't believe that. I don't. That's all I know. That's all fake. That's a dream. I've had a dream of bug-eyed aliens shot me down in my dream. And I love my Lord, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Some of my brothers, Allah, same man.
I hear you.
I'm actually trying to get Adam back, and I think I may have. Okay, good.
Adam.
Yeah, I couldn't. I could hear you on Skype, but you couldn't hear me.
Okay, I'm sorry, Kurt, but I had to pause your calls because I got to let Adam finish his story.
I don't know at what point I was cut off. Yeah, I was talking.
You're
and all of a sudden I
you're
realized
talking
you weren't
about
there.
You had a lucid moment where they were sharing important information with you, and then we were just about to hear what it was, and then we didn't hear you. So that's where we left off.
It wasn't that lucid now. No, it wasn't at the time. I asked them. I don't know if you heard me say. I asked them where they were from, and they said another planet. And they showed me an image, which was like, and it was purple. It was a sphere, but they didn't say where. But they said it was another world, and they said that you're part of us, and we're going to be watching over your entire life. That's when they told me that I was a part of them. I wasn't sure what that meant, that I was a part of them, but they kept saying you're special and all this. And I've heard them that they say that to other abductees. So that really freaked me out because that memory goes back to the early 70s, and that wasn't printed in books as far as I know, and I remember that from that far back, them telling me that. Oh, you're special, you're part of us, that type of thing.
Maybe you were reincarnated from their planet to ours.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. See, the thing about me is I don't have beliefs, like I'm really science-minded, believe it or not. I sound like a kook, but
no.
I'm going off of my experiences, though, I just have my memories, and I don't know what it means,
Right, you don't have convictions really on.
I don't. I don't, and I don't want to because I go by science. Like I believe in facts. I'm agnostic. I believe there could be a God, for instance, but like I'm not a belief system person like that. And I know I experienced this, and that's why I like to talk about it. I wish people would understand that when I say I have a memory, I'm certain of it. Like, I wouldn't be talking about this if I didn't know. Like, I know what happened to me because I had witnesses and stuff. But people doubt it, though. They resist it. It's scary.
It is.
Okay, now you guys are all together. Now we've got a skeptic on here with you, Adam. This is Kurt Green.
Fine.
Yeah.
Not necessarily fun, but
not necessarily a skeptic. I wouldn't say that. Just were you ever drinking or smoking a lot of pot or cocaine while you had all this stuff happen to you and you go to bed and have dreams? Did you do that? Yes or no? No in between. Yes or no?
No, I'm telling you, no. I do not.
I don't believe that. I do not believe that. Common sense.
You don't believe is not important. You're asking a question, and I'm answering the question honestly.
Think about that.
And I'm telling you, let me speak. I do not drink. I have never done drugs, and I've never smoked weed.
Okay, good. I'm proud of you. Glad. So,
you don't have to believe me. That's fine. That's okay.
So, but in your dreams, was it a dream when you had all this happen?
It was not a dream.
When you woke up one day and you were walking down the street and it happened to you, or was it? When did it happen to you? All this.
Well, hey Kurt, let me fill you in on something. I used to be a tobacco farmer, and I was irrigating. Like we used to irrigate all night long to conserve the water because of the heat from the sun. So one night I was chased by a UFO, and my brother was with me. We both witnessed it. And this thing, I believe it did abduct me too.
Wow.
So I totally believe him, what he's saying, and he has witnesses. The janitor in his school, the next day approached him and said, "I saw you. What happened to you?"
Was it a negative thing? Was it negative?
We talked about it a little earlier. It's an interpretation. It was very scary at times, and overall,
scary. Yeah, it would.
I can't say absolutely negative. I'm not going to say evil. I'm not going to say that they're malicious or malevolent, because I would say
obviously you're alive still. So
yeah, I'm alive. This is true, and they've actually saved my life. I'm aware of. And they said I was going to have an illness when I was a little boy, and they said I was going to die of a muscular illness that they cured me of. And, it's not, the thing about it is it's like not just me, but other people are saying a lot of really specific details that wasn't in books in the 60s and 70s. I was born in 62. I have memories that go back to the 60s. That's why I'm so certain, because this, I've had witnesses. I mean, I've got witnesses now that I can bring forward. People were with me. We saw UFOs. We had missing time together. It's not in my head.
All my life, I have studied UFOs and all of that. And if you ever go back to the Old Testaments, Ezekiel chapter 1, and wheels in the sky, and all kind of colored lights around the wheels in the sky. This is 4,000 years ago. And those beams that come out of those UFOs are the craziest looking. They got hoofs as feet, and 4 heads, and all kind of crazy stuff. So even in the Bible, 4,000 years ago, all that craziness, wheels in the sky, and they end up being angels of the Lord to warn us and to tell us about the future and all of that. And everybody, Hollywood took the alien thing, the wheels in the sky, and took it dark and made it all they're mean and going to eat us up or destroy us, when 4,000 years ago in Scripture, open up your Bible, get your dusty Bible up, open up Ezekiel chapter 1, read about wheels in the sky and about all those crazy alien-looking creatures, all right from my Lord. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, my opinion, I'm agnostic. I think alien visitation to Earth goes back thousands of years.
4,000 years, Ezekiel chapter 1.
I think it goes back millions, like probably 500 million years.
Sure.
I wasn't going to say it.
Run free energy, didn't have to use gasoline. Lord.
Well,
cancer in this hole.
What kind of blows me away is those South Africa, those the gold mines that they found that look like they may be like hundreds of millions of years old.
Shoot.
What I think that is the Elohim. And I believe the Elohim is the same as the Anunnaki.
I just know those wheels in the sky did not run on gasoline. It did not pollute and did not cause cancer. That's what I know.
Oh, that's probably true.
Probably true. It's not probably. It's true.
Yeah, and we need to do that again and find ourselves a solution. I think they have it already, and I don't know why they're poisoning everybody with this petroleum. Really pisses me off. You can't even walk down a street now, and people are complaining about someone smoking in a restaurant beside you. Well, when you walk down the street, all that car exhaust and fumes is thousands of times worse for you than any tobacco cigarette.
Exactly, my lord, how pathetic.
And everyone and children are subjected to this. And you walk down a sidewalk beside all this freaking petroleum exhaust. That should be illegal. That should be illegal.
Then when it's a bad pollution day, they make everybody with chimneys not be able to have fires. So the oil pollution overrides families having their chimneys and warm nights. How for that?
You got to be kidding me.
Yes, that happens in Phoenix.
Oh my God! And instead of having some nice smelling wood fire, that we all have to smell all this shit petroleum.
The air is too bad. Everybody with chimneys, you are on alert. Do not light your fire tonight, or you'll be fined $1,500 in Phoenix.
You gotta be kidding me! Wow.
Well, Ben, you should go to Phoenix and see
if I could
cloud.
Tell you the truth, if I could psychically attack these people and get everyone to help me do this, I'd like to take these people out that are in charge of this bullshit.
That's what happened here in our states.
Well, there's all kinds of shit here in Canada. I'm in Canada, Ontario here. There's all kinds of stupid rules like that, too. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm up in Ontario. But yeah, there's
American brother, my Canadian brother.
Yeah, they have stupid rules here too, though. Like there's like for instance, if you're practicing with your band in your garage, it only takes one neighbor to complain, and you got the cops there saying, "Oh, shut her down, shut her down, shut her down." But someone else next to you can be hammering from 7 in the morning and doing power tools all day long. All the terrible noise that makes, and that's okay. But that's considered work. But music, they don't consider it work.
That's something.
You know what I mean? And to me, music and your drumming, it drives away evil spirits. To me, that's driving away evil. And yes. I think it's very important. And when they come and shut me down, to me, I looked at it. Here comes the devil stopping me from driving away the evil.
No, doggone. Love music. I'm a DJ on the side. Like to play music. Yeah. Oh, it's a shame. But yeah, no fireplaces this week. The oil pollution polluted our skies too much, and you'll get fined. That's what they do. But anyway,
Willie's in the chat room. Hi, Willie. How you doing, brother? Yeah, Willie's a good man.
Is Willie there?
He's up in Alaska. He's in the chat room, but he sometimes calls in.
Yeah.
I could add him to the one line. I could add him to the Wolfpack line 47 with Darren. You guys are on the call-in line. I think we're going to take a musical break here. What do you think, everyone?
Okay, yeah, I think so. I probably need to go for the night because I need to go to work tomorrow. So I'll talk to you all later.
All right. Thanks. Nice hearing from you, Kurt.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye, Kurt.
Talk to you again another day.
Thank you very much, sir.
Be good.
And I am going to play some Uriah Heep.
I thought you were going to play Wheels in the Sky.
Wheels in the Sky. I'd have to look that up. You want me to do that?
That'd be a good one. It's by Journey.
I love that song. Actually, I'll find it. Give me a second, and you talk with Adam, and I'll find that.
Adam, do you have any convictions?
What are you talking about? You mean criminal?
Just when it comes to
I thought you meant
anything,
opinions.
just knowing anything that you know for sure.
Oh, that's what I thought you meant. Opinions, convictions.
No, convictions.
Well, sure. I mean, I suppose it. I mean, but I'm pretty just fact based. I mean, I like to stick to the facts. You're talking about like my overall feeling about what the abduction phenomenon is about. You mean, or
yeah, I guess so. Since that's what we've been talking about. Like, yeah.
That's I'm a little.
I mean, do you know what it's about?
Distractible.
Did they tell you anything about our planet or our future or where we're going?
See, that's the thing. I mean, I hear so many different theories. I listen to Linda Moulton Howe a lot. I don't know because I think like she'll throw out different theories. It doesn't all seem to be congruent. So I'm not sure what to think. I don't know because there's so many.
Do you ever feel like you're just losing it? Like maybe you are just losing it?
Losing it? What do you mean?
Have you been down that road and just like said, no, I think I know what I know, or how's that?
As far as feeling like I'm losing it?
Yeah, have you ever felt like maybe you were crazy at all?
No, I never did because I always had other people with me many times who experienced it, and remember talking to them about the events afterwards, UFO sightings and missing time. So I never did. I mean, from the time I was a little boy, so I never went through that. That's more with abductees who remember midlife and don't remember their early experiences. Because I imagine if your first memory comes in midlife when you're an adult, it's going to hit you harder because you're not expecting it. Like I was conditioned from the time I was a kid to see stuff. They showed me stuff. I knew it was real. Like I knew I had so much evidence. I knew it wasn't dreams. It couldn't be.
I'm one of the ones that sort of remembered midlife, but before that, I always knew there was something different about me, but I didn't know what it was. And I thought that the scar on the back of my leg was really strange, and I didn't believe my mother when she said it was a birthmark.
Right.
But I didn't know anything about it till I started seeing UFOs when I was about 10, I think 8, 9, 10 years old, and every time I would see one, my hair would stand up on end first, and I would know where to look. And I'd get the kids from the neighborhood, there's going to be something here. Look over here. And then we'd see it, and we saw, one time we thought it was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And it was not Rudolph. It's circling around my house, and then it's circling around my buddy's house, and I was just, after a while, I was waiting for him to come down and go,
"Take me to your leader."
It makes sense that you would view. That's probably imposed on you too from the outside to think that.
Have they ever given you any wisdom or any knowledge that nobody knows?
That's a tough one. I feel that they have. I just don't remember it. I have the specific memory when I was a kid that, and this did happen more than once, but this particular time, they were downloading, and people using that term now. I didn't used to use that term, but I picked it. They were downloading information to me, and they were telling me things about the future. And I remember being elated.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. This is amazing. I can't believe this. the future is going to be wonderful, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, and I was so excited. And I come back, and then I go to my mother, and I'm like, I have this amazing thing to tell you, but I don't have any idea what it is. I don't remember.
It's kind of like having
Like,
a dream when you have a really complex, awesome dream, and you remember how complex it was, but you don't remember the specific details.
Sometimes I do remember details of communication. On this, a lot of times I didn't, though. Typically, I would be suppressed. That's deliberate to give you that amnesia because I remember them telling me.
All right, we got the song.
Don't remember. They'd get angry at me. Don't remember. They even scream at me sometimes.
Okay, we'll be right back with Monster Castle Paranormal and Adam Ambrose.
Summer day, made of silver, not of clay. Yeah. Ooh, I've been running down this dusty road. Ooh, the wheel in the sky keeps on turning.
Oh, yeah. Rock and roll with the Wolfman. Can you dig it? That was fantastic.
That was.
That was a great suggestion, actually.
What? That was a live version or something. I've never heard that version. That was great.
Yeah, it was. I believe it was a live version, yeah. Well, it gave me 2 minutes more. The studio version's only 3 minutes something. That one was over 5.
Yeah, that's really good. Maybe they won't nick us on YouTube when we put it on there because it's a live version of it. Who knows?
Kurt is hilarious, man. He's still chatting me on Skype here, and I just mentioned something to him. He said, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Well, do you guys know what the Holy Ghost is? Does anyone here know? I do. I know. It was revealed to me what the Holy Ghost is.
I'm not sure. I don't.
That is the female. That is the whole. That is the mother. That is the loving mother spirit.
Well, I just know the Catholic teachings and stuff about it.
The Catholics, they don't really tell you, but I was.
They do. There's a whole. It's called the charismatic movement that kind of come and gone.
It's hard to get a Catholic priest to admit it, but they do know that the Holy Spirit or whatever is a female, and that is basically you got the Father, Son, and the Mother. That is Mother Gaia, the loving, caring female spirit.
Yeah,
it makes sense, doesn't it?
I've seen people slain in the spirit, and it was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. So that was when I was 17.
Well,
cool.
It does make sense though if you think about it. How can you have the Father and Son without the Mother?
Yeah, I've never thought of it that way.
And why would you hide that? But see, there was a big movement too, and it was all, what do you call it? In religion, it was all mostly female idols that people worshipped for a long time, and then all of a sudden it changed to male-dominated worship. But there's
then there's the Rosary.
There's
the Hail Mary a lot more in that than we do.
Yeah,
Our Father. 10 times more.
Yeah, but there is. I don't know if you could really put a sex on God. I think it's pretty much just God is God, and you can't put male or female on that.
How about with Adam? How about with the aliens? You think there's male and female?
Yeah, I get a strong feeling if I'm in a male presence or a female presence. Usually
Which one?
It's a male presence, though.
Which ones did you like better?
I'm more memories of male presence. Well, I mean, the female presence I like better. I mean, I don't like any alien presence, really, unless they're really just manipulating my emotions and taking all my fear away. It's always, for me, a lot of my memories are, they can be very cold, and as a little kid, just sort of, I'd be looking toward them almost like a guardian, and they'd be, ignoring me sometimes, and I'd be like, wait a minute, what's going on here? It wasn't...
Like no love. Like there was no love or caring. It was just business.
It was cold. What?
Did you ever bump into the same one more than once, or did you ever have a favorite?
Oh, definitely. I saw the same one more than once. A couple of them. There was a tall gray who was in charge of the other grays. He'd always be standing off in the back watching, and then he'd come forward near the end and talk to me. And it was always the same one, I remember. And I felt a bond with that gray over the years. I even saw what I felt was an adolescent gray, and it was smaller. And I felt like it was father-son, the two. And I say that, and then people go, "I never heard of that before." But I'm just saying what I remember. You know, I mean, I'm sure of the memory, but I don't know what it means.
Sure. Do you have any idea how old they were or how long they live? Or gut feeling?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I don't have an idea of age, although I will say I've seen some grays that looked a lot more wrinkled in the face than others. A lot more. And they're all kind of, the skin was all wrinkled in certain areas.
Well, that sounds to me like they're definitely not an android, then. They are a flesh and blood. And it's, yeah, the one that you punched and you hurt him, right? And he was down shaking it. It was hurt.
Yeah, he broke his eye lens.
I wonder, the thing I would think about is maybe they're like, you ever see Blade Runner where they were androids, but weren't they like nanobiological? Like they were biological material.
Yeah.
Like programmed.
Exactly. Yep.
Not like robots, mechanical.
Yeah, biological androids. You're like Blade
Almost
Runner.
Almost like slaves.
Made to appear flesh and blood. So they would put in the wrinkles, maybe.
Well, yeah, they actually could do that. Bet you they could probably do that already now. And they could probably use a 3D printer sort of scenario, but lay out cells. Like biological cells.
Maybe they're clones.
Like stem cells.
Do you read much literature and stuff about the UFO ufology in general? Like Billy Meyer and the Palladians and all that?
Now, I'm familiar with all that. I've never researched it on my own, like the contactees. I think I watched a documentary about Adamski, Billy Meyer. You know, that's very different. Like, I don't think... Well, they may be abductees, but I think that all that is just either made up or confabulation. The contactees.
Really?
They're not. Yeah. Well,
you think a lot of
I can't be
make money and stuff?
Accuse a specific person because I didn't research it. But I mean, I've heard like Jacob speak about it, and I'm going off of other people's comments.
Did you ever think about doing your own book?
Yeah, I'm in the planning stage. I've already outlined. I want to do a couple of books. I want to eventually get into my own research. I'd like to look into other people's experiences, not just my own, but I'm curious to try to find out if there's any other information out there, if people could come forward with new information that we don't know yet.
What do you think that they eat?
No idea what they eat. Sometimes they've given me food to eat.
Really? What type of food did they give you? Do you remember?
Don't say
sometimes,
pizza.
Well,
Eric will
sometimes they're giving me what appears to be meat, but the funny thing is, like if it's a sandwich or it looks like a burger, it doesn't usually taste right. It tastes synthetic.
Maybe they have replicators.
Yeah, they just started doing that for real.
Do they wear like a uniform of any sort, or do they all wear different stylized clothing that's different, or they all wear the same sort of type uniform?
Yeah, do you remember?
Yeah, I remember a uniform, but there's a couple different uniforms. The shorter grays would wear these tight, scuba tight-fitting blue outfits. And the taller gray sometimes would be in like a white, also blue, but sometimes I've seen white, a white outfit, tight-fitting outfit.
Do the females wear provocative outfits, and have you ever had sexual encounters with any of them?
No, not female aliens. Female humans I've had sexual encounters with during abductions.
Wow.
On the ship?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
But, also, once it starts, it's partially voluntary. It wasn't unpleasant, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do this now. Like, they prompted me to do it.
Huh.
It's just
do they have fluffers?
What was that?
Do they have fluffers? That was a joke. In a porno, they got someone called a fluffer that tries to get you hard first.
I hope not. I don't remember that, but
I wonder what they would want.
Problem, it was just automatic, sort of.
It's like they were putting you on show to learn something, or were they trying to do something with your genes?
What?
I think they were trying to take his genes off. Right?
Do you think they were trying to learn something? Or do you think they were doing an experiment or something?
It sounds to me like they were doing some breeding.
Yeah.
I believe that they do this. It happened more than once, and they want the baby. I think they take the baby.
Oh yeah.
I think that sometimes it's not.
So they
hybrids
probably keep the female longer or something.
Hybrids, the fetuses they take. I think they're just human usually. Maybe.
So
I'm speculating.
Do you remember what color their eyes were, and do they have pupils? I forgot to ask that.
You know what? I don't, because I always remember seeing a dark eye, just black.
Yeah, that's what
Although one time I was face to face with a being, and the eyes changed. It was like they were little screens on an iPhone almost, and there was this swirling bluish white, bright, sparkling, swirling motion going around in their eyes. Like I was looking at an LED screen, what do you call it, like on an iPhone?
I still think they wear something over top of their eyes that sort of helps them see different things, like maybe infrared and stuff, like some kind of a lens that helps them see better.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think maybe.
Bionic eyes.
Maybe.
Oh, it's something like glasses, but it fits like tight forming right on their face, maybe, and that's what he broke.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, it was just covering the eye. I wouldn't have even known that there was a covering, and it's just the eye is so large. I wasn't really aiming for it. I was just trying to get the face, and my fist caught the eye part. And yeah, but it wasn't like a mask, like a helmet. It was just the eye covering. And I didn't even know for sure
didn't feel
covering.
good.
What?
I'm sure it didn't feel good for him.
No, I felt, we were in telepathic communication, so when I hit the being, I felt his reaction. He was stunned.
Did you feel guilty?
Yeah.
Did you apologize telepathically to him afterwards?
No, I don't think I did. What happened was they immediately got pissed off at me intensely. Like, immediately swarmed me, 5 of them at least, grabbed me by the arms, really hard clamped down on my arms, and it hurt.
So they're strong.
Felt like a vice.
So they're really strong.
What? They're really strong.
Wow.
Tiny little bodies, but the grip was so strong, I couldn't believe it. And they were dragging me and pulling me. And I was trying to resist. And I was pretty strong when I was young. I lifted weights. I was an athlete. And I couldn't keep them from dragging me. Of course, there was like 5 of them. But they were pissed off, and they said, "Don't do that. Don't ever do that again. Don't do that." They were like very angry, and I wasn't feeling apologetic. I was frustrated and angry, very, very angry. The next day, and looking back on it, I feel apologetic, only because I'm a nonviolent person, and I feel compassion for everyone.
Okay,
people that don't deserve it.
Did they change your clothes or anything while you were up there, or did they leave your same clothing on?
Usually they took my clothing off, and I was either naked or they gave me a robe. Sometimes I would wear like a white robe, maybe a blue robe, but I remember white. Yeah, but
Whoa.
a lot of times
Was it a weird,
be like
weird fabric? You remember what it was like?
The fabric of the robe. It just seemed like cotton. I mean, I don't know what it was. It just seemed like a regular robe, regular material. I didn't focus on it, and like look at, I didn't have a chance to think and like look at it and notice it.
Right, you're not thinking correct when you're on there because they've.
Do you remember?
That right?
Yeah, do you remember them doing any operation on you, like slicing you up or doing anything to you or your head or anything like that?
Yeah, but there was another question. You said, do I remember them being? What was that? Being. Oh, I thought there were two questions. You asked about the slicing.
I'm just following along. I can't remember what I just asked.
I keep missing.
No, I don't think you asked the question. No, you didn't ask the question.
I remember that I had what I believe was brain surgery because I was aware that they cut my skull open.
Yeah, that's what I just had a feeling they did that. I just had a psychic. Actually, I saw. I could see it in my mind. They operated on and they put an implant in your brain.
I always wondered why they did that. I knew my head was open. I don't know how I knew, but because I'm partially in their head, so I kind of know what they're thinking when they're doing stuff. And I knew that, and it scared me. It wasn't painful, but I had an implant experience, and so undoubtedly I have an implant that I don't know about, I'm sure. But
it's in the back of your skull, and sometimes it'll vibrate.
I'm not sure, but what complicates it? I had an injury when I was 7 years old. I fell off a teeter-totter, and I had a concussion, and I had a huge welt on the back of my head, and it might have caused some mild brain damage or something. I mean, I'm normal, but they say when you hit your head like that, you can die from that. You can have like a brain aneurysm, and I don't know if it caused permanent damage or not. I always wondered if what the procedure they did had something to do with that, falling off that teeter-totter. But because I had residual pain for a long time, so I had complications with that. I had a huge injury on the back of my head. A bump. And
maybe they fixed you. Wasn't that about the time of your first abduction?
No, it wasn't. It was later because this was age 7, and I have memories going back to infancy.
Oh.
So.
Do you remember being born?
I do, but
it's funny. I do too.
I remember being held upside down and being hit. I remember what it felt like.
I remember they didn't have to do that to me. When I came out, I opened my eyes and started talking to people like, yeah. They didn't have to spank me.
My dad used to deliver babies. He was a family practitioner.
Adam, what's the most inconvenient abduction you ever had? And what was the longest one?
And what was the second part?
The longest one.
I don't know. I mean, the most inconvenient.
I mean, were you ever like on your way to work or something and you never showed up this next day all of a sudden, or?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, there was one time when I was gone for 2 days. I went for a walk in the woods. This was near where I lived, and I was taken out of the woods. And when I went into the woods, it started raining, and it was a heavy rain. And when I came out of the woods into the parking lot, it was like a wood line, and then there was a parking lot. It was dry there was no water in the ground. I went in my apartment, and then I thought that was strange, and it was Monday. No, it was Tuesday, and then I was watching TV, and you know how you have your shows, and I knew it was Tuesday night. And I went to bed, and the next morning I got up, and it was Thursday.
Wow.
And
did you miss work?
Is it what?
Did you miss work?
I wasn't working at the time.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, who misses work?
And I was looking for work.
Not miss it, but like, did you not show up? Wow.
No,
did
that's what happens.
Miss you?
They'll do that if they know you're not going to be missed. But my neighbor noticed I was missed because I was talking to this girl that I kind of liked a little bit, my neighbor, and I was talking to her, and she said, by the way, the other day, what happened? She said, your cat was outside of your door for 2 days meowing, and I thought you were neglecting your cat. I almost called somebody. And I said, really? My cat was outside my door for 2 days meowing? I would have heard it. I would have known that. And that I realized that was that 2 days I was missing.
Of course. Were you thirsty or hungry when you got back?
I was feeling like I had just returned from a long car ride. I was feeling kind of not tired but depleted physically. Like I felt like spiritually hungry. Like I felt like something amazing had happened. Like the wind had been taken out of me, and I knew something had happened. I just couldn't remember it. And I wonder why they
kept you so long. Feeling. Why do you think they kept you so long that time?
You know what? I don't know because I don't have a memory of it. But I know I was taken because I do have a memory of being aware of floating up through the canopy, through the trees, going up toward a craft. But that's all I remember.
Do you think they've ever taken you outside the planet, like left orbit?
Well, there's only one memory that relates to that. This might have been a dream. I know these aren't dreams, the abductions, but you can have a dream. And,
sure.
But one time I was on a craft in a hallway, and a being that looked human said, "Come over here and look out the window." And I looked out the window, and I saw the moon, but it was closer than when you look up in the sky. It was like maybe twice as big as it should have been. But that could have been a dream. But I bring it up because it didn't feel like a dream. It felt like I was in the presence of an advanced intelligence, and I was very intimidated, like I am. It felt like a real experience. But I can't be certain about that. And when I'm not certain, I say.
Sure, that's got to be frustrating.
You asked me
to not know if it was a dream or if it was something that happened.
But I mean, that's just that one that I wasn't sure. My other memories, I know they weren't dreams because I remember it so vividly, and it's all these details and the communication with the beings, and a lot of times I even saw aliens 3 times before I was abducted while I was wide awake, and I had missing time a lot during the day, and I saw landing traces in my backyard like 12 times. Not just in my backyard, other places, like on the damn tennis court. I saw an alien during the day when I was like 13 years old on a tennis court. Not on the court, but in the trees watching me.
Oh, so he wasn't playing tennis? You didn't have a match with him?
Tennis. We didn't play a set. But I used to play a lot of tennis. And I looked up, I was hitting against the backboard actually, and I saw the part of the head and the black eyes looking at me from behind a bush.
Oh, man.
And I was wide awake.
I'll tell you, if I saw some alien peeking at me from in the bushes, I'd give him a black eye.
It was on the other side of a fence. But immediately after I saw it, then I was abducted. I was taken, so it didn't last for long, the conscious fighting, but there was one. I'm sorry for rambling. I was just kind of rambling.
No, it's good. This is interesting. Have you ever had any good friends that have been with you all the way and can collaborate or come on a show with you sometime and say, "Yeah, all this happened"?
Yeah, I'm working on that. I do. There is one I'm in contact with who is getting ready to do that. He wants to do that, and he wants to have hypnosis. I just talked to him like 3 or 4 times in the last year. He remembers being taken with me. We saw an object in the middle of the road, the missing time. He remembers it. He doesn't remember being on the craft. But he wants to get hypnosis.
Where are you going to get this hypnosis done? Are you going to go through Free? That organization called Free?
Well, I have a major researcher who wants to look into my case. I probably shouldn't say who it is, but that that's going to happen. So
it doesn't matter on this show if you say who it is. I'm sure that Reverend John Polk will hook you up with Free because he is part of that organization. That's started by Edgar Mitchell, the astronaut.
Oh, the Edgar Mitchell organization. I was thinking of the John Mack. That's different. I know they used to have a list of people that you could find someone in your area type thing, and I did that. I've talked to I've talked to 3 or 4 researchers, not just Bud Hopkins.
I was told not to do that. Like, first I was going to get regressed, and I was thinking of seriously doing this, and then somebody told me not to do it. And I can't remember why.
Not to do hypnosis?
Yeah, not to get it done. And
well, I don't know why.
I can't remember why, but I don't know if it was a dream.
It was somebody that didn't believe in any of it, though. They thought that they were just out to make money and to plant memories in you and stuff.
Yeah.
But one thing that
you should
understand about
I think that was Amy. Amy Martin told me not to do it.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, the consensus with the researchers is that the memories retrieved under hypnosis, while some people doubt, hypnosis, are essentially the same memories as consciously recalled without hypnosis. And this is coming from Hopkins. So, you can doubt, they can doubt hypnosis, but it's useful. And
I think
for
it
me,
is.
Yeah, it helped to clarify, focus in on details.
Have you been regressed ever?
Oh yeah, like 7 times.
Oh, okay. And were you able to remember details? And did they write down all the details?
Recorded. My sessions with Hopkins were recorded, and also with 2 other people who aren't known researchers.
Do you have those recordings still, or transcripts?
I have a couple of them, but I don't have the Hopkins ones. I'm going to obtain the Hopkins ones though next year. I hope to.
I would die to see those. And if you get some more details, does that become part of your memory, or do you have to read them or hear what you said in order to remember them at that point, or does it just become like part of you?
No, that's not how it works with me. I don't go into a deep state of hypnosis where I just get real focused and relaxed, which is typical of most people. Some people will go on and they don't remember what they came up with. I never remembered anything that I wasn't already aware of. It only helped me to focus in on what I was already aware of and see it more clearly. Although I will say maybe there was one detail with the implant that fell out of my nose. I had previously remembered that a light came through the window, and when I went under hypnosis, I was certain I remembered the light transforming into a being standing in my kitchen. But I had already sensed that. I knew the being was there. It's just that I saw it like replaying a videotape in my head under hypnosis. But I didn't need the hypnosis to be certain of it, though. The hypnosis was more for the benefit of the researcher, I feel.
Okay, I gotta warn you about this hypnosis. Kurt Green, he's concerned about you, and he thinks that hypnosis is black magic, and the Bible warns against it. And he said, be careful with that because you can be programmed.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I know I don't believe that, and I didn't experience anything that would make me feel that. I was so consciously aware while I was laying there, like nothing was suggested to me There's nothing dark or negative about it.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I was perfectly relaxed, and when I woke up, I felt great. I felt like I had slept 10 hours. But I was totally aware the whole time.
Well,
in
that's
fact, I even said
interesting.
under hypnosis, I don't feel like I'm hypnotized. And Bud said, that's okay. I was just deeply, deeply relaxed and focused.
I'd probably let David Letterman hypnotize me. Hypnotize me.
I saw that episode that they hypnotized their stagehand or something.
Yeah, he's hypnotized. I like when I used to really like it when what did he do? He used to take hang on a second. I gotta remember where I put this effect. Oh, go ahead, guys. Oh, yeah, I remember it now. Okay, yeah, he used to take a letter, and he'd read the letter, pretend he was reading it, and then he'd take the letter and he'd throw it over his shoulder, and it would do this. Remember that?
I didn't hear anything because
I
heard
had
a line.
pencil throwing.
Is a glass crash. Remember, he'd read the letter, and then he'd throw it over his shoulder, and there'd be a smashing glass sound.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. I definitely believe in hypnotism, and I know it can help you, too. I don't think it's from the devil. There's a lot of people that won't even watch it or believe it. They think it's evil. I don't buy it.
I'm not of the mind that things are evil. I just don't believe in that.
Okay, guys, we're going to wrap up now.
What?
We got 10 minutes left in the show. So
yeah, I think this was good, but I'm tired now.
Yeah, you got to get some rest, buddy.
Thanks for sticking in there. As long as you got to come on again. We've got just a tiny audience.
I'm going to book him for a show, definitely.
Yeah,
and this time we'll do some more research, and we'll have a better. We'll be more prepared for it. But this was great. It was an awesome show, very entertaining and funny. And is there any songs that you want me to play for the end, Adam? In particular,
you know what? I loved it when Art interviewed me. He played Pink Floyd, "Another Brick in the Wall." I love that.
You want me to do that one? All right. Okay, I'll pull that up right now. And Darren, maybe you could talk to him for a sec while I'm pulling this up.
I'm out of questions right now.
Oh, then just thank everybody. Can you do the thanks and then maybe plug our website for donations and all that stuff? And I'll pull up the song.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for coming on. And wanted to thank Eric for filling in at the beginning there for me. I just couldn't stay away. I had too many questions. I was blowing up the chat. But, yeah, thanks for coming on. And thank you, Wolfman, for doing this. I think it was a very entertaining and informative show. Adam, I hope you come back on, buddy. Soon.
Yeah, I will. And earlier, and I'll be more, I'll be less tired, you know. I'm dragging.
Yeah, we did good, though. We pulled it off. 3 hours. That went pretty fast, didn't it?
Damn fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it ready now. So, yeah, thanks, everybody, for coming out to Monster Castle Paranormal. All right. And thank you, Adam Ambrose. This was an amazing, just spontaneous interview. It's like a whole show I did not plan to do. Sometimes this happens, and it's great. Thanks, Kurt Green, for coming on with us, and all of your excellent questions from in my Skype chat with him, and Mark Hanapepe, Mr. C, Wisteria Whisper. Who else was in there? Do you remember? Eric? Yeah, you already thanked Eric.
There's a couple more.
Marcus Aurelius. Thank you, Jeff, for the other show. And who else was with us? There was Les. But for this show, I don't know. If there's anybody else I forgot, I'm sorry. But thank everybody for coming out. And We love yous. And we wouldn't do
Ditto.
it. You know, I still do it anyways, even if I was talking to myself. So, no, I don't know about that.
I talked to myself for years, and I got tired of it. That's why I started doing interviews.
Yeah, that's why I started doing a radio show, because I got tired of talking to myself. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually do talk to myself. So.
He's got more experiences than you do, Wolfman.
I know he does. Oh, way more. Yeah.
We could do 100 shows and not get to it all.
Okay.
Maybe 100 shows to get to it all.
What is this Gin and Juice by the Gourds?
I love that song. It's
What
just
is
one
it?
of my favorite songs.
I'll look that one up, and we have enough time. I could play that, and then I'll play another Brick in the Wall, and then I'll play that afterwards. All right?
Sounds good. It's got an ad before it, but yeah, it's great. You'll love it. I thought you would like that one in particular.
Okay, what else? Oh, yeah, I was going to mention, if anybody wants to help us out, it's a free show, so you can download for free on Spreaker. Just look up Monster Castle Paranormal or Wolfman Mike 47, and you'll find there that you can download our shows for free. Or just go to our website at monstercastleparanormal.com, and you can donate to us. Anything you can afford will help keep us going. And you can also find a link to our free archives there. If you can't afford it, don't worry about it. It's free. We just want the truth to get out there. And we're not trying to make money. I do need some money for equipment and stuff, and it is hard, and it's a lot of time. So if you could, it would be very greatly appreciated. I need a new mic. I need new headphones. I got myself a new board now. Half of it was actually paid with donation money, which I really appreciate.
I'll send you more.
Darren, you're not supposed to be the one. You're putting a lot of time in this. You're putting too much time in this. You shouldn't have to send me money. I mean, I was going to give you a kickback if there was any for your equipment if you need any.
I don't need anything.
No, I still
fun.
need new headphones, and I need a new microphone. I'm borrowing this stuff from somebody actually right now. Everything else I got.
Well, Christmas is coming.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, yeah, the Christmas show. Oh, that's the other thing I want to talk about. The next show is going to be Elizabeth April. She's a very powerful medium and psychic. She's on tomorrow at midnight Eastern Standard Time. She can read your mind, literally, and she'll pull things from your mind and freak you right out. So I hope everybody's ready to call in tomorrow and get a free reading. She usually charges about $100 for these readings. She's damn good. I've already had a reading from her. I've heard her on another show on End of Days Radio with Michael O.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to call in, Adam, you're free to call in tomorrow if you want a reading from a powerful psychic.
Wouldn't that be interesting? If you could just call in like a normal person, she would have no clue.
Yeah.
If she touched on any of this stuff.
Yeah, if she didn't know.
Don't tell her.
I've had that.
Don't tell her.
Oh,
see what happens.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah, that would be a great experiment, wouldn't it?
A woman gave me a reading once, but I didn't know if I trusted it because she knew who I was. But I shouldn't even say what she said. But,
well, you can tell us. I'm not going to tell Elizabeth April, but you might as well not. Let's see what happens. You're right. Just keep it to yourself, and that way you know that nobody knows.
I'll tell you later. Yeah, this woman, she swore she could see my aura, and she was all excited, and she came up to me and described it to me after a MUFON meeting.
Okay, let's get in touch with her. We're having another show coming up soon on auras, and I'm looking for an aura specialist That is one of the shows I want to do coming up. Here we go. All right, everybody. And also, I can't wait for our Christmas show. We're going to have John Madden back, and he's going to tell us the history of Santa Claus and the history of elves.
He's cool.
Yeah, man. It was awesome. Okay.
Fun night. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks a lot. Good night.
Mysterious scribblings? A secret code? No. Poems, no less. Poems, everybody! The laddie reckons himself a poet. Money, get back. I'm all right, Jack. Keep your hands off my stack. New car, caviar, 4-star daydream. Think I'll buy me a football team. Absolute rubbish, laddies. Get on with your work. Repeat after me. An acre is the area of a rectangle whose length is 1 furlong and whose width is 1
We don't need no thought control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. Teacher, leave them kids alone.
Welcome to the Monster Castle Radio Show.